I do enjoy a good ham sandwich, but I couldn't eat a truckload. And this had more ham than the annual stock take at the Hams R Us Central Warehouse. Um, Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles, isn't it? My name's John. His name's Andy. Sometimes I wonder if you're really living, or what is this feeling you think that you're giving? Well, you can sit down, wrecked and dismayed, wondering where all the plans that you laid. Well, not later. But first, we have a tune to listen to, selected by brother Andy. What have you got in store for us today, Andy?
Today I have a song called Love Me Dead, and it is by a band called Ludo. Have you ever heard of Ludo?
Do you have Ludo as a board game in the States?
If we do, it's not one that I'm familiar with.
It's a really basic board game where you've got a. Just trying to remember, probably last time I played it when I was like 7. But you're on a board, and I think you've got a thing going round it and bits going into the middle, and you've got colored counters. You basically roll the dice and try and get your counters home. That's about it, as far as I can remember. It's really simple. I think it comes from Latin. Oh, I'm gonna fuck up here. I think Ludo is Latin for I play.
Oh, okay. The layout of the game sounds similar to Trivial Pursuit in that you're working this outer
Yeah.
ring and then you try to work your way into the inner ring or whatever. But
Or something like that. I could be wrong. It might just all be an outer ring. A bit like Frustration's another one. I don't know if you ever played that, where you
okay,
can
yeah, yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
stuff that takes your things back. Um, anyway, I think it's something. But yeah, I think it's definitely. I'm going to look at it while we speak. Just a sec. Ludo game. Um, oh, that's confusing. So it's 4 squares with a cross in the middle, and they're different colours, and God knows how you get it back. Um,
Interesting.
it's a strategy game. I can't remember it being any sort of strategy when I was 7. Um, but there you go. What does
Well,
Ludo mean literally? It means I play. Oh God, got that right. Anyway,
there you go. At least that
that's
part was super
nothing
clear.
to do with this song or this band, so I apologise for going down that particular wormhole. But let's go off and listen to it, and then we'll find out.
Like a dog with a bone, John. Yeah, go off and give this thing a go and let me know what you think.
Love me cancerously, like the salt sore soaked in the sea. High maintenance means you're a gluttonous queen, narcissistic and mean. Kill me romantically, fill my soul.
Okay, interesting start. So we get this hit guitar, and the first thing he says is, "Please love me cancerously." Um, so I'm getting the feeling this is a black romance thing where um, the characters invert love with hatred, and then we get sort of all sort of examples of this. This already feels, even before this, very theatrical, sort of High School Musical staged, which, as you know, is right up my alley, and I couldn't think of anything more that I'd rather watch. Um, I think the main character here is going for a sort of very punchable character, and he's nailed it. He really has. Clearly, he's tongue in cheek, and they're doing it for humour. But yeah, I'm finding it more annoying than amusing. Um, and he's got all his school friends with him from the drama group, which is great. I can't wait to see what will unfold.
With vomit, then ask me for a piece of gum. Bitter in time, you're my sugar plum.
Sorry, I know he didn't intend it there, but that sort of "you're awful, I love you," just to me invoked the spirit of Dick Emery. Sorry.
Slowly, she wears me down to bones in bed. Must be the sign of my head. It says, "Oh, love me dead." You're a faith healer on.
So musically, it's fairly simple. You've got that da 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 sort of goose stepping almost. It's a chorus line that you fill to it, which then you can hang stuff off. It's quite simple. I think that was a chorus just then. There's a bit more sort of soaring. I think there was some backing vocals there. There was something going on in the left channel, like a guitar that had a heavily affected. So it was this electronic burbling almost. It sounded really nice. That did. So yeah, and then you've got this sort of the very subtle drama unfolding in front of you. Luckily, they put lots of stuff in for the hard of thinking. So if you didn't know what he meant by bones in the bed, there is a bed with bones. Now you can go meta on this, but yeah, fair enough.
TV. You're an office park without any trees. Corporate and cold. Cashing for gold. Leave me alone. You suck so passionately. You're a parasitic, psycho, filthy creature, finger banging my heart. You call me up drunk.
I'll just hear what he said then. I think I heard what he said as our friend from Transylvania creeps over the upholstery.
Parasitic, psycho, filthy creature, finger banging my heart. Call me up drunk. Does the fun ever start? You're hideous and sexy. She moves through moonbeams slowly. She knows just how to hold me. And when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. I know she drains me slowly. She wears me down to bones in bed. Must be the sign on my head. It says, "Oh, love me dead. Love me dead." Wow. Love me cancerously.
Sling. Is that better? Apparently so.
How's your new boy? Does he know about me? You got the mark of the beast. You're born of a jackal. You're beautiful. She moves through moonbeams slowly. She knows just how to hold me. And when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. I know she drains me slowly. She wears me down to bones in bed. What about the sign on my head? It says, "Oh, love me dead. Love me dead. Oh, love me dead."
See. Yeah. Yeah, not really my thing. I think it perhaps was just too subtle for me. Um, yeah, the song itself didn't do anything for me. I think the video did even less. I think they were trying to be funny and clever, witty and knowing. But it kind of feels like like when Weezer try and do that, it just doesn't come up. I think it probably works for some people, but not for me. This came across more sort of, yeah, clumsy. uh, and yeah, that sort of whole theatrical vibe, da, 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 and all that. I mean, they're having a great time. God bless them. Um, there's this sort of um, area which can keep these sort of people away from me. All the better. Um, so let's find out some more about Ludo. Let's go back and chop it up with Andy.
All right, so you have returned from the land of Ludo. I forgot to mention this is the official music video, so there's a lot to take in. It wasn't just a static shot and listening to the song. So I'm sure, having heard your reaction to the fox, the cookie, and the crow, or whatever from
You're gonna say that?
I knew you were gonna have some things to say about the campiness, shall we say, of some of this music video. But please go on and tell me your thoughts, John.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this from the start. I do enjoy a good ham sandwich, but I couldn't eat a truckload. And this had more ham than the annual stock take at the Hams R Us central warehouse. Um,
It does.
so it starts with this picked guitar, and then instantly the theatrics kick in with the vocalist. Now, I know the singer is doing it for laughs, clearly, just by the way he's dressed. But it didn't really tickle me, to be fair. I think the vocalist was going for this eminently punchable character, sort of cartoon Rivers Cuomo. And for me, he nailed it. I wanted to punch him from about the third line. So he opens with Love Me Cancerously. So I get from that straight away, the theme is this sort of black romance, where you have a relationship where people invert love for hatred. I hate you so much, but they still, are drawn to each other. After this, and I've known couples like that as well. Anyway, after the phrase "narcissistic and mean," he gives a little smug nod, and then with the click of a table lamp, the main song kicks in musically, and it has that high-stepping quality that shouts "musical theatres" to me, and we know how much I enjoy that.
Oh, do I?
And the performance, both in front and behind the sofa, does nothing to disavow me of that notion. So the verse ends invoking the spirit of. So you won't get. I'll have to explain this. So the verse ends invoking the spirit of Dick Emery with "You're awful, I love you." Dick Emery was a sort of 1960s, so definitely 70s comedian who was outdated when even then on the TV, and he used to have these terrible characters. He loved dressing up in drag or as a vicar with really big teeth. And one of these women, I forgot what it's called, the character, but he's clearly a bloke in drag. He didn't do a very good
Right.
job of it. They go to this woman go to people, and she goes, "Oh, you are awful, but I like you," and then smack her with a handbag, and then saunter off. Really camp, really terrible, and has a great fondness in my heart for it, unfortunately. But so yeah, as this wretched servile creature fitted with a Greek theatre mask tries in vain to supply the recently mentioned sugared plums, um, various characters sashay across the stage, illustrating the lyrical images and puns, seemingly blowing the school budget for that semester.
Mm.
Um, we get to the sort of chorus, and its ribbons and stage lighting cleverly invoke moonbeams, which I thought was quite a nice touch. He then mentions bones in bed, so of course there is a disconnected skeleton in a bed nearby, which is handy. Um, and then we get to the next bit, which I think must be the chorus, as we get some accompanying background vocals doing the R's. And actually, in the left-hand channel, it's quite faint, but it comes and goes. There's a really nice, heavily affected guitar that has kind of an electric burbling almost. There's a really sort of in the left. It really sounds nice. Um, musically, I mean, it's all fairly simple, to be honest with you. It's to hang in all the notions and the ideas on. We get a quick drum fill, which then sets up the bellowed title line with clutching a humorous aloft as he screeches, "Love me dead," rather than tender. And then we go into the next verse, and there are more examples of how atrocious his beloved is. As a comrade from Transylvania creeps across the upholstery. He says a line which I think was my favourite one. Talking about you're a psycho and a filthy creature, and you finger banged my heart or something, which I thought was fun. In a sort of alternative universe version of Bucks Fizz, we get sexy spelt out in coloured Y fronts. I should explain this as well to you as a British reference. So we have this very strange thing called the Eurovision Song Contest. It's been going on since, I don't know, early 60s, maybe late 50s. And it's fairly naff. And it's got naffer over the years and got more camp over the years. So back in the early 80s, there was a group called Bucks Fizz that had a very twee sort of song called Making Your Mind Up. And and it was two men, two women, and they're in sort of primary colours, as I remember it, something like that. And at one point in the song, they said something about making your mind up, and they grabbed the women, both women's skirts, who were on with Velcro, and they whip them off as they spin round, and they're just in leggings, and that was risque and a real moment in 1981 or whatever. And we sort of got that version of it with SEXY and Y fronts and coloured. It reminded me of that, an arse version of it. So we go back into the chorus with added oomph. There's a lot more oomph to it, and the backing vocals tend to soar. And then we get these creepy schoolgirls who just, I thought it was Britney when they came approaching, and they spat out the title in Bones for the Heart of Thinking. Exiting the second chorus, we get a quick sort of guitar solo, and it kind of, I don't know why, but it did remind me of Weezer. In a way, not sort of the more, sort of flowery stuff, but sort of more simpler stuff. And then we're going to drop down the music to this first line repeat. And then what was missing from all this? Some whistling, of course. So a quick whistle, and then we go into a chorus line. You can all be in the show with which goes through, actually is like the pattern for the whole song, actually. Then we go back into the chorus, which is even bigger and more, more confetti and stage effects and all this, and more bradadadadas coming at the end, and then finally, and scene. So yes, I thought this was just way too subtle for me. It was kind of like, for me, it was the answer to a question that I never asked. What would be the combination of Weezer and High School Musical, and what would it sound like? It was kind of like the carry-on version of My Chemical Romance. So, not my cup of tea at all. I did find it humorous, though, in certain ways. It was funny, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got from it, for me, what is the lasting and most beneficial part of this song, which is just the humor involved in all of it. It is anything but subtle, but it is still funny, and it is still clever because it is funny. And so I thought you would probably find the campiness of the music over the top, but I'm glad that you still walked away. All I wanted to do is make you chuckle a little bit with some music, so I'm glad that you at least did that. I didn't think that I was bringing the next Stairway to Heaven to your door when I brought this to you.
I'm not sure I laughed at the same things that they intended me to laugh at, but even so,
Right. Although come on, you enjoyed a good finger banging of the heart. So there you go. A little bit about the band. Ludo, they are an alternative rock band from St. Louis, Missouri. The band consists of lead vocalist and guitarist Andrew Volpe, lead guitarist, backup vocalist Tim Farrell, Moog synth and backup vocalist Tim Convey, drummer backup vocalist Matt Palermo, and bassist backup vocalist Deep Cut Dave Heltebrand. The band's origin can be traced to songs written while Volpe was attending John Burroughs School in Ladue, Missouri. While sitting in his car in the local Schnucks supermarket parking lot after class, Volpe penned songs that would become some of Ludo's first, including their local breakout radio hit, Hum Along, which I'm also familiar with, though I don't know many of their songs outside of these couple. After his sophomore year at Washington University in St. Louis, Volpe formed a band with fellow John Burroughs graduate Dave Heltebrand. Lead guitarist Tim Farrell joined the band, while home on break from the University of Notre Dame, and together the three adopted the name Ludo after a character in the film Labyrinth. Heltebrand soon left the band, but Volpe and Farrell continued to play occasionally around St. Louis as an acoustic duo. In 2002, the pair moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma after Farrell graduated from Notre Dame and Volpe dropped out of Washington University's music program. Tim Convey, one of Farrell's friends from St. Louis, was added to the band after Volpe watched him sing with an 80s cover band in Columbia, Missouri. The three men performed together through early 2003, telling audiences they would return in the fall with a rhythm section and an album. Ludo posted an ad, bassist/drummer needed to help take over the world. Bassist Marshall Fanciullo, easy for me to say, drove down to Tulsa from Omaha, Nebraska to audition in the summer of 2003. Matt Palermo left community college in Spring, Texas to join the band on drums. After playing together for only 3 weeks, Ludo recorded and released their self-titled debut album in August of 2003 on their own indie label, Redbird Records. Ludo's first show as a full band was at a bar in Indianapolis on August 8th, 2003. For the next few years, the band toured extensively with other Midwestern bands, including The Dog and Everything, Anything But Joey, Pomeroy, and the Primetime Heroes. This exposure brought them moderate indie success. As Ludo continued touring, they gained a reputation as an exciting live band. They began hosting regular themed concerts at the Pageant in St. Louis and the Blue Note in Columbia. In 2005, the band returned to the studio to record the EP Broken Bride, a rock opera that probably doesn't come to a shock to you at all, John, about a man who travels backward and forward through time in an attempt to save his wife from dying in a car accident in 1989. The opening track, Broken Bride Part 1, was a song that originally stood alone before evolving into the full opera. On the subsequent tour, Ludo would perform Broken Bride in its entirety. The opera proved to be so popular that several stage adaptations have been produced by various colleges and schools. With increasing popularity and major label interest, Ludo began touring with larger bands such as Reliant K, Motion City Soundtrack, The Providence, House of Heroes, Sing It Loud, The Spill Canvas, and the Presidents of the United States of America. In October 2006, Ludo signed a five-album deal with Island Records that turned Redbird Records into an Island imprint. Under the deal, the band was free to release non-commercial material such as Christmas albums or rock operas on the Redbird imprint. So it's like, yeah, give us all your regular shit and we'll put our name on it. If you want to do all that weird shit you guys like to do, put that on Redbird. In spring 2007, Ludo headed to Southern California to record their major label debut. On the 26th of February 2008, they released their album, You're Awful, I Love You. The album's lead single was Love Me Dead, a song written in 2004. Love Me Dead has been a fan favorite for years, and the band made 2 music videos for it. The first music video was made with fan participation through their website. The second was professionally made. The single received increased exposure when, on July 11th, Ludo performed it live on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Love Me Dead was also adapted into a commercial teaser for the show House, and was number 10 on the number 1 alternative countdown on Fuse the week of August 18th, 2008. The increased exposure saw Ludo playing on several well-known tours, shows, and festivals such as Warped Tour, Lollapalooza, South by Southwest, Batfest, and Point Fest. However, in November of 2008, while on tour in Chicago, bassist, here we go again, Marshall Fanciullo, was relieved of his duties in the band. I said it stemmed from his last name being hard to pronounce, though I don't know if there's any truth behind that. No official reason was given for his departure, and Ludo did not hire a permanent bass player to replace him. Ludo's third full-length album, Prepare the Preparations, was released September 7th, 2010. The lead single from the album was Whipped Cream. Topics on the album are wide and imaginative. Volpe said of writing the album, I like to write from my imagination, so there are songs about skeletons, grave robbing lovers, a cyclops, and of course, love and all that other stuff. The band headlined a 29-city tour of the United States in support of the album. However, as of January 2012, Ludo has been removed from Island Records' artist section, and the Island Records imprint was removed from Ludo's official website, ludorock.com, leading to speculation that the label had ended their relationship with Ludo. There has been no official statement from Ludo or the label regarding this matter. Interesting. It's been a while now. In the fall of 2018, the band tweeted that they would do a Back from the Dead one night only show at the Pageant in St. Louis on October 27th to celebrate 15 years of the band and the 10-year anniversary of You're Awful, I Love You. The show sold out in less than 20 minutes. A late show was added that sold out almost as quickly. The band expressed shock, saying that they didn't know people still cared about Ludo. In July 15th of 2019, the band announced that they would perform a two-show series at the Pageant on November 2nd. Tickets went on sale that day. Both shows sold out within an hour. On July 21st, Ludo added a third late show, and it also quickly sold out. On August 26th of 2022, the band performed at Ludo Night at Busch Stadium in St. Louis before the night St. Louis Cardinals baseball game. And on October 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2022, Ludo performed another three-night festival at the Pageant in St. Louis, bringing back some of the bands they used to play with in their early days. Again, Anything But Joey, The Dog and Everything, and Anchonado, as they were the openers for the night's festivities. As mentioned earlier, this track, Love Me Dead, features on the band's You're Awful, I Love You album, and the track became Ludo's most successful song to date, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard Alternative Songs chart. IGN's Chad Grischow praised lead singer Andrew Volpe's vocals for being compelling without becoming theatrical. I think John might argue with that. And the mixture of poppy hooks and macabre lyrics. Throughout the track listing, he would sum up his review by writing, You're Awful, I Love You is a solid album of straight-ahead rockers, enhanced by some creepy songwriting and fantastic hooks. Ludo's major label debut hints that they probably have a great album or two in them, if they can overcome their inconsistency. Still, you will not want to turn your back on this one. So let's get into these very silly, funny lyrics. Love me cancerously, like a salt sore soaked in the sea. High maintenance means you're a gluttonous queen, narcissistic and mean. Kill me romantically, fill my soul with vomit, then ask me for a piece of gum. Bitter and dumb, you're my sugar plum. You're awful, I love you. She moves through moonbeams slowly. She knows just how to hold me, and when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. I know she drains me slowly. She wears me down to bones in bed. Must be the sign on my head that says, oh, love me dead, love me dead. You're a faith healer on TV. You're an office park without any trees. Corporate and cold, gushing for gold. Leave me alone. You suck so passionately. You're a parasitic psycho, filthy creature, finger banging my heart. You call me up drunk. Does the fun ever start? You're hideous and sexy. She moves through moonbeams slowly. She knows just how to hold me. And when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. I know she drains me slowly. She wears me down to bones in bed. Must be the sign on my head that says, oh, love me dead. Love me dead. Wow. Ugh. Love me cancerously. How's your new boy? Does he know about me? You've got the mark of the beast. You're born of a jackal. You're beautiful. She moves through moonbeams slowly. She knows just how to hold me, and when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. I know she drains me slowly. She wears me down to bones in bed. Must be the sign on my head that says, oh, love me dead. Love me dead. Oh, love me dead. In a review of the album for online publication Smile Politely, Ralph Petrella would write of the album and this track, You're Awful, I Love You has 3 moods, the strongest being the dark side of human existence. Ludo has a knack for presenting this theme with a deviously catchy style somewhere between the sound of gypsy folk tunes and musical melodramas. Love Me Dead starts off the album strongly, bringing one right back to the brooding musical tone of Broken Bride. This song is about the love you want to get rid of, but can't due to an unrelenting physical addiction. This sentiment is best summed up in the lyric, and when her edges soften, her body is my coffin. So, yeah, just a good old fashioned case of toxic love and not being able to shake the sex. Go ahead, John.
Two things. One, gypsy stuff. Anyway, secondly, it struck me as you were reading the lyrics out that this is, if you imagine updated and in modern parlance, it's got that sort of or tries to be that sort of clever wordplay, almost like a Noel Coward song. Do you know what I mean? Which has its own built-in theatricality as well. So, not that I'm, have much against Noel Coward or like him at all either, but I admire the guy, and I guess to a certain extent, someone like Cole Porter as well, that was a bit more elegant,
Yeah.
and restrained. But both have that very clever wordplay, which has its musically has its roots in the theatre as well.
Yeah.
It just struck me going on that this would be like an updated version of that.
Fair. Interesting observation as well. And you know me. I know, and we know you. But I am, my roots are in theater. One of the ways I fell in love with music was through theater. So to hear, rock and roll or rock music, that another huge part of my falling in love with music, and then coupled with this, and then just the silly campiness of it all. But yeah, at this point now, I just look back and kind of chuckle and laugh at it. And I thought you might at least get a laugh. I know it wasn't going to be your cup of tea, as you say, but thank you for being a sport and giving this thing a go, John. I appreciate your time, buddy.
Not at all. I will think of this fondly and often as we go through Morrissey's back catalogue.
No. So be it. At least there's some Johnny Marr in there, so I'll take that. Yeah, appreciate your time. Guys out there in the listening audience, please let us know how much you truly hated the song. Love to hear from you guys and what you had to say. And if you happen to like it, you can mention that too. Also, please feel free to drop down suggestions for our Friday episodes. We will add them to the ever-growing list and knock those out for you. Also, please like, share, and or subscribe if you haven't done any or all of those things. It goes a long way to help us at the channel. It just costs you but a couple clicks. So thank you so much. And hopefully John and I will catch all y'all in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.